Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome back to Drak Reviews, where I take on a bit of a more nostalgic tale for me. I'll admit that this is one that I just want to do a review because I want to get more eyes on the product. And here we go. So this is going to be my review of Full Throttle Remastered. Probably, in my opinion, one of the best LucasArts adventure games that has since been able to come out. And this is from the mind of Tim Schafer. So for those who do not know who he is the mastermind behind Sam & Max Hit the Road, Full Throttle, The Dig, later on Grim Fandango, and later on we also got stuff like Brutal Legend from him and Psychonauts. Let's go ahead and start things off with the story. So this is kind of Tim Schafer's first venture into doing an adventure game on his own, and he decided to do a story kind of in a post-apocalyptic future. I don't know if I call it that, just it's a future that's out in the middle of nowhere, and it's basically around a biker gang called the Polecats, along with a prominent motorcycle company, in fact the last motorcycle company in the world at this point, Corley Motors. How they're trying to basically start up a publicity stunt for their next shareholders meeting by riding up with a gang of bikers. At least this is the plan, according to Adrian Ripburger, who is played by Mark Hamill. He tries to convince Malcolm Corley, the head of Corley Motors, to bring the Polecats, and in turn they go to ask Ben, the leader of the Polecats, if they will escort them out, and after saying no, Ben gets roped into a conspiracy or a big problem of big proportions, and now it's up to Ben to save his gang, save Corley Motors, save all of everybody, even though that wasn't even the plan on his agenda. So with that being said, the story's pretty simple enough. You play as Ben as he goes through to figure out what the heck is going on with Corley Motors, as well as what's going on, why his gang got roped into it. And it is an amazing adventure that isn't very long, but it's actually considered to be one of the best adventure games that Tim Schafer's ever made. And I actually agree with that. Moving on into the visuals. So, with this being a remastered edition, and unfortunately, it's probably going to be the last one that Tim Schafer is going to be able to get out of the LucasArts holding licenses held now by Disney. I will actually say that the visuals are good, but there are a few times where I did actually take points off for this one in the fact that they made some characters look a little weirder on this new remastered kind of texture instead of the way they looked originally. I do like the original textures, but I think this one kind of screwed up a lot of those main images. Not horribly bad, though. I think you could still go through the story and not necessarily have an issue, but I did take some points off because of that. Gameplay, again, this is a point-and-click adventure, and actually based in the more modern, not Scum Engine, but the more modern engines that LucasArts tried to do before they stopped making adventure games altogether. And so it is a little bit more simplistic, more streamlined. You don't have to worry about the verbs down below. Instead, everything is just you click on it. You can either use it, kick it, be able to talk with it, or lick it, and even look at it. So you have all of that stuff already set up for you. My only complaint with the remastered edition in gameplay is the fact that the mouse seems a little bit more strict than it used to be. I remember playing this numerous times on my old PCs, and I never had problems with the mouse controls, specifically when you're controlling your bike. And trust me when I say this, there are going to be points where you're going to control your bike to be able to get through the story, and this one feels a lot more stiff than the previous iteration, the less remastered version, where it felt like it was a little bit more smooth to you because you use your mouse to pilot the bike where you need it to go. And in this case, it was a little bit more stiff. So I did take points off for that. Audio, I didn't take any points off for this because we have amazing performances from Mark Hamill, Hamilton Camp, and Roy Conrad. Rest in peace, Roy Conrad, who actually played Ben. We had Mark Hamill, who played Adrian Ripburger and the trucker Emmett. And awesome performances all around. This was an amazing story to be able to go through, even though it's as short as it is, and I have no problem saying the audio is amazing. Onto replayability and onto presentation. Replay value is hard for this one because for a nostalgic point-and-click adventure gamer, I play through this a couple of times already this year and just enjoyed every time I played through it. But for somebody who's walking in brand new, the story might seem a little short for you if you don't have problems. And I would actually say this is one of the more simpler point-and-click adventure games in the LucasArts library. So my problem with doing replay value, and I did take points off, is the fact that I don't think it's there for a brand new adventure gamer. I think they will want a little bit more bang for their buck, like say with Thimbleweed Park in a hard mode. This one is basically go through the story, and if you liked it, you liked it. If you don't, you don't. If you liked it for just that one time, you're fine, but you're probably not going to replay it again. And that's the sad reality of that. But presentation, does it all come together? Yes. And I'm so amazed and excited that this is finally out and available for people in a remastered format to be able to get more people into the product so they don't have to play an older game, even though you're technically playing an older game with a newer coat of paint. The presentation comes together splendidly, even if you're playing it for the first time and one and only time. And that's why I have no problem giving this a solid 8.5 out of 10. If you've never played Full Throttle before or ever played a Tim Schafer adventure, like if you played Brutal Legend or Psychonauts and you haven't tried his LucasArts endeavors like with Grim Fandango and Full Throttle, you're in for a treat. And I think you ought to try it at least once. And currently, it's actually going on Steam and PlayStation 4 and Xbox, and I believe it's on the Switch, but I'll need to confirm. I'll need to confirm that for $14.99. And we're in the holidays right now, so there's probably even a bigger sale for that too. Get this while you can get it on sale, but $14.99 is not a horrible price for this. I remember paying $60 for it back in the day, and that would, like, if I had to do that now, I probably would be a little mad. But for $14.99, this is not a bad, this is a steal as far as I'm concerned, even if you're only going to be able to get about 3 or 4 hours of gameplay out of it. And that's going to go ahead and do it for this review. So thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, we'll see you guys next time for the next review.